Imagine waking up 10 years from now and realizing most of your opinions, habits, and even your idea of who you are never actually came from you. They were downloaded from trends, headlines, group chats, and feeds. That's what happens when we follow the masses on autopilot. Our awareness gets dulled, shaved down bit by bit, until we're living as a reaction instead of a conscious choice. Today, we're going to look directly at that process. Not in a paranoid way, everyone is brainwashed but me, but in a practical way. How crowd thinking creeps into your mind, how it quietly narrows your awareness, and how to spot the difference between genuine alignment and unconscious copying. By the end of this video, you'll have a sharper lens for seeing where you're leading your life and where you're simply being led. Let's start with a simple question. When was the last time you disagreed silently with the crowd? To understand why following the masses dulls awareness, we first need to clarify what we mean by the masses. We're not talking about other people are bad. We're talking about default settings, the path of least resistance, the unspoken rules we obey without even knowing they exist. Culture, trends, social media, even well-meaning friends all create a kind of mental autopilot. When we ride that current uncritically, our attention narrows to what's popular, what's rewarded, what's safe. In this video, we'll explore how that autopilot forms, how it hijacks your perception, and how to step off it without becoming a cynical outsider. If you're interested in seeing reality more clearly and making choices that actually feel like yours, stick with me all the way through. And if this kind of deep dive into awareness and psychology resonates, consider subscribing and tapping the notification bell so you don't miss future episodes. Now, let's start with how crowds change your brain. Humans are wired for herd behavior. For most of history, being separated from the group meant danger, no protection, no resources, no survival. So our brains evolved shortcuts. If many people are doing it, it's probably safe. If many people believe it, it's probably true. Psychologists call this social proof. It's efficient. You don't have to investigate every restaurant, every idea, every trend. You just look around and copy. The problem is that this shortcut doesn't care about truth or depth. It only cares about belonging. Awareness, on the other hand, requires you to see what's actually happening, even if it's uncomfortable. When we reflexively follow the crowd, we outsource our noticing. We stop asking, "What do I perceive?" and instead ask, "What's everyone else perceiving?" Over time, that tiny shift numbs your sensitivity to your own observations, intuitions, and doubts. You can feel something is off, but you override it because the herd seems fine. That's the first cut to awareness. You've probably felt this. You're in a group, a meeting, a classroom, and someone says something you quietly disagree with. You feel a flicker of resistance, and then you notice everyone nodding. Suddenly, your inner signal feels less reliable. This is groupthink in action. The pressure to conform to the dominant narrative, not because it's right, but because it's easier. When you suppress that inner flicker often enough, your awareness adapts. It stops sending strong signals because those signals don't seem to matter. Your nervous system learns. Noticing differences is unsafe. Blending in is safer. So your perception starts to blur. You notice less nuance, fewer inconsistencies. You become quicker to align with the loudest voice and slower to question. This doesn't mean you should always resist the group. It means you need a conscious filter. Do I actually see this the same way, or am I agreeing to avoid friction? Without that question, awareness quietly goes to sleep. Modern crowds don't just gather in streets or rooms, they live in your pocket. Social media compresses the masses into metrics, likes, views, comments, trends. Instead of looking around a physical space, you look at numbers. This has 1 million views. It must matter. But awareness is local and specific. It asks, what is this really right now? Metrics bypass that question. They tell you what's popular, not what's true or nourishing. The more you scroll, the more your attention is trained to chase what's already validated by others. Your sense of value becomes external. If many people care, I should care. that can flatten your inner landscape. Subtle interests feel boring. Quiet experiences, reading, walking, thinking, seem less real because they're not visible on a feed. Over time, awareness narrows to what's shareable and rewarded. Everything else, the private, the slow, the deeply personal, fades into the background, even though that's where genuine insight usually lives. Awareness is like a lens. It can be wide, taking in subtle detail, or narrow, locked onto a single, flashing target. The masses, especially in digital form, train your lens to be narrow and reactive. Headlines are designed to grab, not to deepen. Trends are designed to spread, not to clarify. When we live in that environment, our awareness adapts by becoming jumpy. We skim instead of read. We react instead of reflect. We want takes, not understanding. This constant reactivity dulls the part of awareness that can sit with complexity. I don't fully know yet. Let me observe longer. Following the masses means syncing your attention with what everyone's already looking at. But collective focus is often shaped by outrage, novelty, or fear, not by importance. So your inner compass, which might be pointing towards something quieter but far more meaningful, gets drowned out by whatever is loudest. You see what you're told is urgent, not what actually matters to you. Not all masses are wrong. Sometimes the crowd points to real dangers or genuine opportunities. So, what's the actual problem? The issue isn't that the crowd exists, it's that we confuse collective noise with personal clarity. Awareness is the faculty that lets you notice your own direct experience, your sensations, your thoughts, the subtle signals in your body when something doesn't sit right. When you habitually outsource decisions to the majority, that inner reference weakens. You stop checking, what do I actually feel? What do I personally observe? This is how people end up on life paths that look successful from the outside but feel strangely empty. They followed the script, the right schools, jobs, beliefs, and lifestyles, but skipped the ongoing inner consultation. The masses can offer data and options. Only awareness can tell you if those options are truly aligned. Without that inner check-in, even wise advice becomes dulling because it's no longer accompanied by genuine seeing. Think about fashion trends, opinions, even outrage cycles. They move like waves. Suddenly everyone cares about a topic, wears a style, repeats a phrase, and then it vanishes. When you ride those waves uncritically, your identity starts to fragment. You become a collage of borrowed pieces. Awareness, by contrast, is continuous. It's the quiet background that's always there, watching trends rise and fall. Following the masses dulls awareness by pulling you into constant identification. This is who I am now. No, now I'm this. Your attention fuses with each new wave, instead of staying grounded in the observer that can say, ah, here's a new trend passing through. The more you define yourself by what the crowd is doing, the less practice you have resting in that observing space. And that observing space is where clarity arises about what genuinely fits you and what is just a costume you're wearing because everyone else is. Let's bring this closer to home. Notice how often decisions come with an imagined audience. What will people think if I do this, post this, wear this, believe this? That imagined crowd lives in your head rent-free. You consult it before you consult your own awareness. This is internalized mass thinking. Even when you're alone, you're still performing for a mental crowd. The cost is subtle but huge. Instead of sensing, what feels truthful, kind, and alive for me right now, you're scanning. What will protect my image and keep me inside the invisible lines? Over years, that habit dampens your sensitivity to your own boundary crossings. Times you say yes when you mean no, laugh when you're actually hurt, agree when you're unsure. Awareness becomes dulled because you stop listening for those micro discomforts. You prioritize social safety over inner honesty, and your perception reshapes itself around that priority. Workplaces, schools, and institutions often reward conformity, even while preaching creativity and thinking outside the box. Unspoken rules form quickly. What's safe to question? What jokes are acceptable? Which viewpoints get you labeled difficult? To navigate this, many people start editing themselves in real time. They scan the room, predict reactions, and shape their words accordingly. On the surface, this looks like social intelligence, and sometimes it is. But when it becomes constant, something else happens. Your attention turns outward so completely that your inner signals fade into background noise. You may stop noticing the tension in your shoulders when a boundary is crossed, or the tightness in your chest when a project violates your values. That physical emotional information is part of awareness. It's data. If your primary question is always, how do I fit here? You gradually lose sensitivity to the question, does this environment even fit me? Let's talk about fear, because underneath most herd following is a simple fear: exclusion. Our nervous systems treat social rejection as a kind of death. Studies show that social pain registers in the brain similarly to physical pain. So when your perception contradicts the group, it's not just an intellectual disagreement. It can feel like an existential threat. To avoid that feeling, many people preemptively dull their awareness. They stop looking too closely at contradictions in their community, belief system, or peer group. It's easier not to notice than to notice and then face conflict. But clarity always carries a cost. Seeing clearly may invite tough conversations, changed paths, even loss. If you unconsciously decide, I'd rather not see than risk losing belonging, you've just chosen comfort over awareness. Making that choice consciously is one thing, but making it blindly, because you've never examined that fear, locks your awareness inside the prison of approval. So how do you stay connected to reality while still living in a world of crowds, trends, and institutions? The first step is noticing in real time when you're shifting from direct awareness to crowd tracking. You can practice tiny check-ins during the day. Am I choosing this because I've actually reflected on it, or because that's what people like me do? What do I notice in my body right now as I agree with this? If there were no audience, no likes, no judgment, would I still choose this? These questions reactivate your own sensory and emotional data. They recenter you as the primary witness of your life. Following the masses becomes a conscious choice when it actually makes sense, not an automatic reflex. Awareness sharpens each time you pause, zoom out, and observe both the crowd and your own response to it, almost like watching a scene in a movie rather than being lost inside it. Deepening awareness in a mass-driven world also means intentionally seeking spaces where the crowd's influence is quieter. This might look like solo walks without your phone, journaling without intending to share, or having long, unrecorded conversations with people who think differently from you. You can also expose yourself to ideas outside your algorithm, long-form books instead of hot takes, history instead of headlines, diverse perspectives instead of your usual echo chamber. Each of these practices stretches your awareness beyond the latest consensus. Importantly, this isn't about becoming contrarian for its own sake. Rejecting the masses on autopilot is just another form of reactivity. The goal is to stand in a place where you can say honestly, sometimes the crowd is right, sometimes it's wrong, and either way, I'm awake enough to tell the difference for myself. From that place, following or diverging becomes a free act, not a fearful reflex. Let's distill everything we've explored into a few core insights. First, humans are wired to follow the herd. It's not a personal flaw, it's an evolutionary feature. The risk comes when we let that wiring run our lives unconsciously. Second, following the masses dulls awareness by outsourcing your perception. You start relying on metrics, approval, and consensus instead of your own direct experience. Third, this plays out everywhere, online, at work, in relationships, and even in your private thoughts. through the imagined audience in your head. Fourth, the cost is subtle but profound. You can end up with a life that looks correct to others but feels strangely disconnected on the inside. Finally, awareness can be reclaimed through small, honest check-ins, exposure to diverse perspectives, and intentional solitude. You strengthen your capacity to see clearly, even when the crowd is loud. It's not about rejecting people. It's about no longer rejecting your own seeing. If this conversation stirred something in you, maybe a recognition of where you've been living on autopilot, that's your awareness already waking up. Don't let it end when this video does. Take one concrete step today. A 10-minute walk without your phone, a candid journal page about where you're following the crowd, or an honest conversation with someone you trust about a belief you're questioning. If you'd like more content that respects your intelligence and challenges you to think for yourself, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell so you actually see future videos. You can also share this with one person who you feel is ready to hear it, not to prove a point, but to start a deeper dialogue. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Where do you most feel the pressure to follow the masses, and what helps you stay awake inside it? Thanks for watching and stay aware.